setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. Glad you've joined me. It's a beautiful, cloudy day here in South Florida. We've got some tropical storms that are on their way in. So we're going to have to watch out for them. And we're preparing for them. That's what we do here in South Florida. So what is the conversation going to be about today? Well, today we're going to talk about business and the Constitution. I'll be right back. Listen, if you are a business and you have a business dispute or conflict, I'm a business mediator. I'm certified in it. Send me a text at 818-252-5682.
And taxes on WBT.
So as I said, our conversation today is going to be about how the Constitution affects our business. Because if you've noticed in this coronavirus situation that we've been in, we have seen the stories and we have read the stories about these individuals who have been attacked, literally almost, by police officers, by politicians, by non-elected individuals who want to throw out their power and say, listen, you cannot operate your business. You cannot do it. Well, listen, you have constitutional rights as a business. And it's so important that you understand what those constitutional rights are. Because things are happening so quickly and by aggressive government officials, especially by some governors in some states here in America, that we really need to know what our Constitution is all about for us in business. So we're going to talk about some specific items today. We're going to do it very quickly, but we're going to do it in a way that you understand that you do have constitutional rights as a business. We forget that because we get so busy and caught up into what we're doing that we forget that the government can come in very quickly and do some damage to you. So we're going to talk specifically today on the aspects of the Constitution that affect business, and they include the following items, okay? The Commerce Clause, the right to free speech, the right to free association, the regulation of Congress, and the rights of a corporation. Now, let's begin with the Commerce Clause. The Commerce Clause, in Section 8 of the first article of the United States Constitution, states that Congress shall have the right to place regulations on international and state-to-state trade. This made trade regulations uniform throughout the United States, allowing for really simple trade practices. Now, states sometimes try to complicate it, but it really should be simplified, and that's where we get into the problem. When a company conducts business in a different state or country than where it is registered, it becomes subject to the federal laws regulating foreign transactions. Foreign trade regulations are in place for companies that buy and sell goods outside the United States. State governments also have the right to enforce their own regulations on transactions that take place within their own borders. The other thing is free speech. free speech is a vital aspect of any business because we don't want to get attacked by any government. Free speech is a well-known and basic right covered in the Constitution, First Amendment. Congress is not allowed to restrict this right, nor is any state allowed to restrict this right. But it may be modified in certain ways to help to keep the public safe. Businesses in the United States also have rights when it comes to free speech. Remember free speech, the right to be able to say something, not to attack somebody hatefully, because that's hate speech. That's why some states and the federal government changes the laws regarding hate. Hate is a terrible situation that we get ourselves into by really stupid individuals. Under the campaign finance reform, businesses were kept from donating to any political campaigns. Some viewed the restriction as an infringement of a business right to speech, free speech. So a few years later, a majority of the Supreme Court agreed and decided to lift this restriction. Now, I want you to realize one other thing. You have that right to speak politically. However, it's not a deduction on your tax return. So whatever money you spend on your political donations as your right of political speech, remember they're not deductible on your income tax return. But you have the ability. That right is still there for you to put your money behind any candidate or to speak out in favor of that candidate. You have that right. It's just not tax deductible. Then you have free association. Now, just as citizens are afforded the right to associate with certain beliefs or people groups, businesses are also allowed to make the choice. A business owner has a right to support different groups or religious beliefs by making information available to his or her customers through flyers, signs, and other means. This does not necessarily apply in the case of hiring. However, a business must offer equal opportunity employment to anyone applying for a job within your company. You can't discriminate based upon how they believe politically or how they believe religiously. You can't discriminate against that. It cannot discriminate against based on religious beliefs, race, or otherwise. But you can still have the ability of free association. It's interesting, isn't it? How we have these rights, especially right now, and we have the right of free association. We have the right of free speech. We have the right to assemble. Now, let's talk about the regulation of Congress, because Congress is a scary situation at the moment because we've got some really nut jobs in there. Let's face it, okay? We can call them that. They're nut jobs. And they're on the left and they're on the right. You got some good nut jobs out there. So the regulations of Congress. The rules of the Constitution are meant to regulate Congress, not businesses or citizens. I'm going to say that once again because we've missed that part in this coronavirus situation, okay? The rules of the Constitution are meant to regulate Congress, not businesses or citizens. Therefore, the right to free speech means Congress cannot restrict someone from speaking his or her mind. But the business may also be able to. They have that right also. Let's use an example. A radio show has a right to not allow a certain person to speak on its program or to say certain things. Ultimately, such issues are decided by the Supreme Court. And there may be some exceptions depending on the circumstances. But the majority of us are are legitimate individuals who want our businesses to grow, and we have the Constitution behind us to allow us to say what we want to say. Because the Constitution is not to regulate you and I as business people. It's meant to regulate Congress, for them not to overstep their bounds. And that's where we have a problem at the moment with Congress doing some things that are not as ethical as they should be, and it affects our businesses. And we have the right to speak out about that. If we see something being done wrong in government that's affecting our business, we have the legal right under the Constitution to speak out. And we need to do it more. If we are being hounded, if we are being aggressively hounded by local governments, and telling us what to do and what we can't do, what to wear and what we can't wear, what to say and what we can't say, we have the right of dissent under the Constitution. So understand that the Constitution regulates Congress and government. It does not. It's not there to regulate us. It's supposed to protect us. And we'd better start remembering that as we see other businesses being attacked, maybe for opening their businesses too early. But they have to open it because why? They have no money coming in. They are desperate to make money to meet their mortgages, to meet their children's health care, to meet so many different responsibilities that we have as human beings in this country called America. But the Constitution is there to protect us. Use it. Then we have the rights of corporations. Certain types of corporations have many of the same rights as United States citizens. Both corporations and citizens pay taxes, have a right to sue and be sued, maintain certain other rights under the Constitution. Corporate rights are a point of contention among different political parties. And we know that because we've seen that. For instance, the rights of corporations were called into question under President Obama's 2010 health care bill. The law required companies that employed 50 individuals or more to provide health insurance that included options for certain types of contraceptives for women. Women's rights to health care were put at odds with a corporation's right to religious freedom. You all remember that. It's still going on even to this day. In the case study of Hobby Lobby, I've never been into one of their stores yet, but I want to go if I can ever find one. But in that case, a Christian corporation, the Supreme Court ruled that the corporation had the freedom to refuse to pay for certain types of contraception that were viewed as against the company's religious beliefs. Some believe this puts the rights of the corporation above the individual right of its employees. If you need help with business constitutional rights, you have so many attorneys out there that will represent you. There are individuals out there that are willing to represent your corporation if you have a specific belief or a specific way of thinking religiously. You have corporate attorneys out there, or even religious liberty attorneys that will help protect your company. Hobby Lobby had it. Some other organizations under the Catholic Church had it, and are still in court because under the Obamacare it forced a special sect of nuns to provide contraceptives to individuals, and that's not the belief of the Catholic Church. So you have constitutional rights, and as I see businesses being attacked every day. You see them on Facebook every day. You see them on Twitter and LinkedIn of these individuals who are trying to survive. And they've got police officers who are obeying the orders of their superiors and governors and city hall and council people. There are good police officers out there, and some of them will not step on your constitutional rights. But there are others who will follow whoever leads them. And that's where the problems come. And good stories of that. One physical fitness gym up in New Jersey, and also happened in North Carolina too, where the police came and they were going to open, the gym was going to open their doors so that their gym members could come in and start using the gym facilities again, get into shape. You'd be surprised at how many people are suffering from mental health conditions that need that outlet. There are people who are in bad health, like me, who need that help of a gym. But the governor decided no gyms cannot open. For 3 more months, no gyms can open. Now the gyms are following the CDC guidelines. But the governor says, and the mayor says, and the police say, no, you have to remain closed. But he opened up. So on the day that he opened up, in come the police. The police were there in force. But they said, you know what? We're not going to step on your constitutional rights. I'm going to inform you that you're going against the sanctions of the state government. But go ahead and continue on your day. So the crowd was enthusiastic. They jumped up and down, and they started to say, USA, USA, USA. You've heard that chant so many times before. So people started going into the gym. A couple hours later, the police came back, and they arrested the owner because somebody up above told them that they're breaking the law. In actuality, there's no law that was broken. There's no law that gives the right to any state to close down a company or to close down a church. So they took the owner off to jail. And they threatened to take other people to jail and to write them citations. And the officer began walking down, taking pictures of every single car that was there, and taking pictures of the people also. Happened in North Carolina also. You have constitutional rights. You have legal rights. Remember, the Constitution is there to protect you from government. So you need to know what your constitutional rights are. Sit down with your attorney or go to a seminar on what your constitutional rights are as a business and learn them and know them. Because this is going to happen again. I guarantee it, it's going to happen again. And we're going to have to begin to fight for our legal rights again and again and again. Because we have government that is out of control. They're out of control. I hope this has helped you out. I really do hope this has helped you out. I wanted to get you guys enthused about your businesses again because I love business. Ever since I was a kid, I loved business. As a kid, I would always dream about business. I was the most nerdy business kid ever. So when I see businesses out there having problems and being attacked, it hurts me greatly. It really, really does. And I don't like to see it. So I want to tell you, you have a constitutional right to defend your business. Use it. Use the Constitution as your tool, as your weapon of choice against government. You have that ability. Listen, I have set up a Patreon account to fund the operations of this podcast. We're now heard in over 19 outlets at the moment. We are heard around the world. And I really enjoy bringing this education to you almost every single day. It's been a week since I've done a podcast. And the reason why I've been up in South Carolina taking care of a probate in a house that's in that probate. And then I just got back this last Saturday. And it was so good to be home. But I need, and people have been telling me to do this for so long. And I said, I don't really want to make any money off of this. But I am finding that to produce this and to write this and to distribute it and to promote it and everything else, I need to bring in a financial system that helps this podcast. So I've set it up on Patreon. I'm putting the link on the page down below. You'll be able to see it. And with that Patreon, there are 2 accounts. I've made it very simple. I don't want to make it at so many levels that confuses me. So I made it very simple. Level 1 and level 2. And with both levels, you get good quality because I'm also posting blogs there. I'm posting articles there. I'm posting everything that can help businesses and also my podcast that I do. But I want this to be a learning tool for businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, or even business individuals. We need to keep up on what is out there that's going to affect business at any time. Remember, anytime Congress meets, it's going to affect your business because there's going to be a new law coming down the pipe. I try to stay on top of it as much as possible. I really, really do. But I need your help, you guys. So listen. Click on the Patreon down there. It's not that expensive. There's only 2 levels. We'll keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to be doing some webinars for those in level 2 on business subject. If you have a subject that you want me to cover, let me know. I will do it for you guys. Join my Patreon. Subscribe. Let's get it going. Click on the link or copy the link and paste it into your web browser and let's get going. Listen, if you have any questions or comments, send me a text at 818-252-5682, 818-252-5682. Everybody go out today, be dynamite, and fight back. This is Mike Lodge. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.